What's up, my devil? Sensei-tutum here with another video for ya. So, this is this week's weekly ETH update. We can call it that at this point, but wouldn't write that in stone. Don't know if you'll get it every week. Don't know if you'll always get ETH, but right now that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a weekly ETH update. So, I'm liking it. I'm going to keep rolling with it. So, last week, I left you with, I did not change the two probable counts that I've been having with you since we started this, but I did say that I was leaning towards bottom in, right? Bottom in on the whole move here, this whole move here. And if that were the case, then these two counts would be wrong, right? Each of them was that this was a third wave finishing at a very different degree. So from an Elliott perspective, I was wrong. Darn. I must suck at Elliott. I guess you be the judge. So I don't necessarily think so, but in any event, so we're going to go ahead and wipe this off, wipe this out. This is done. Does that mean that Elliott's useless? Hell no. That just means that I was useless with Elliott if this bottom was in fact in. By the way, neither of those counts has been eliminated. And from a probabilistic standpoint, they're a little lower this week. The bottom end definitely went up, but when you think of bottom end support, we had a lot of that this week potentially, but the action against our bearish counts didn't really, if you're thinking about things the way I do anyway, just because what happened supported this bullish idea does not directly mean it was negative to the bear side, right? It was a bit, but not as much as I think we supported the bullish with the price action over the week. So keep that in mind. Those two counts potentially still in place. That would mean that this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Either way, 4 at some degree, where we would come back down and continue to test more of these summer lows, which I had postulated would happen back here before we made the top, right? That the summer lows would be tested, and well, they weren't tested. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. Don't be that way. You got to understand markets, right? But this is not the venue for me to explain that to you. In any event, if we're going to throw out that Elliott Wave count, do we need to go ahead and have another count that is this is the most probable count at that degree? And no, of course I've got ideas, but I'm not gonna pose that to you here. Why? Because one of the biggest problems with the crypto Twitter crowd that I see, certainly our students, basically let me just say it plainly, people that don't necessarily understand the theory as well as they should and could, is that they always feel that they have to know the count at every degree. Well, and if they don't, then it's Elliott. It's the theory's problem. Like, it's the problem with the theory. That is incorrect. That is very incorrect. I think if you want to practice this theory and be good with it, I think you'll understand that there is a count at every degree all the time. You're just not able to identify it. And if the quicker that you can live with that, and the quicker that you can let your ego chill out, I think the better you will become with this theory. So, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a douchebag, but I'm pretty much, I think in this world, I am probably one of the best practitioners of the theory. Let's put it that way. Whether it be knowledge and understanding or application on the chart. When it comes to this theory. And if I don't always have to have a count at every single degree, why do you? And in fact, I think that's counterproductive. If it's not actually a probable count, but it's the best only one I can see at the moment, why do I even want to fucking consider it? Maybe it's right. It's just like those people that have awful counts in the chart and then the price does what they want it to do and then they say, see, did what I want, so was that count? No, that's not how it works. But so this is getting long-winded on really good theory, practical way to apply this theory, Elliott Wave, to say that we're not going to talk about Elliott Wave in this video. And probably what I just said lost me all my viewers, but maybe that one guy that wants to be a good practitioner, he'll take it to heart. In any event, Let's explore some other things, and maybe Elliott Wave at a differing degree than what we were just looking at, to see if we can identify a trade right now that is working in our favor. Of course, this is Saturday morning. You won't see this till Sunday morning. The members will, but I'll be honest with you, there's a trade. So let's get into it and talk about it. Based on, you know, just other things. So we already saw what that chart was. I just deleted it. Throw it away. Let's go ahead and throw some. This song is ridiculous. I'm gonna hold on. Sorry, listen to this. Put this copyright free shit on, and it's garbage sometimes. Anyway, you're serious. All right, hold on. It wasn't beeping back here. All right, sorry. That shit was tilting. All right. So, Trade Devils. At Trade Devils, we teach not just Elliott Wave. We teach geometry, market geometry, specifically mostly pitchforks, and algos as well as our pillars. We have 3 pillars of our methodology, and of course support and resistance. So, and you know, we filter a lot of other things in throughout that, but those are our pillars of what we teach, of our methodology, and we give them to you to decide, you know, to incorporate into your own style, your own trading, and come up with your own way to use them properly, you know, and weight what is important to you. So let's look at some of those other pillars. And I'm just going to quickly throw the stuff on the chart. So this trend line was already there. And as far as trend lines go, there's been better and there's been worse. But I think we see that there's, you know, if you're wondering about the trade that I'm going to talk about, I think we see that there's something significant going on there, right? So maybe we can dig into this and look at potentially longing the retest, right? Because we have officially, last week we were about here. We had not broken that downtrend line in this market. We had on Bitcoin, and that was going a long way to my idea that the bottom was potentially in. So, and again, still doesn't mean we have to have bottom in. So everything I'm talking about is basically going forward is going to be postulating a long idea and postulating bottom in. But those 2 counts that I showed you are not ruled out at all. So anyway, let's continue. Check our volume profile. Let's turn that off real quick. So I'm going to set some SR levels. Basically work from a blank chart. This is how I like to do. Oops. All right, these look pretty good to me. For relevant at the moment. Do we want to put, yeah, let's put one there. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Glad we put that on. All right, so we got some SR levels that are relevant to our PA at the moment. Price action. Let's go ahead and throw some. What the hell is this thing doing on here? I don't really use modifiers. Throw some relevant geometry on the chart. You know, as I'm doing this, we're gonna get to algos, where I throw algos on there. And you know what's funny is I see people say, like, and I mean, I'm sure it's people even in our own Discord say things like, you know, when you're working with fibs, it's like, I mean, what do you mean working with fibs? Like, yeah, I mean, you could take a Fibonacci relationship to any 2 ways, but are they relevant waves? You know, so that's just too ambiguous to me to say fibs, working with fibs. It's like, it's a tool, man. It's like that tool can be used in a lot of different applications. So it's like, we teach algos, we use fibs for that. We teach Elliott Wave, we use fibs for that. Shit, we teach geometry, we use fibs for that. So it's like, what is the tool being used for at the moment, and is it being used properly? So it's just the way people talk about fibs. I use fibs. Do you? That's nice. Sorry. Ooh, look at that spicy meatball. Hold on. Let's get this right on the pivots. What theory do you think this is going to support? Let's see. This is the biggest pain in the ass about using pitchforks is really, I mean, you really want to get them right on the pivots. And of course, if I change time frames, this pivot is going to look different. So, yeah. Let's just go ahead and change it real quick, just to take a looky-see. See, now, nope, still missed. That's still on, that's still on, and that's still on. Whew. Boys. Boys and girls. On this chart, Coinbase, Ethereum missed the median line. For right now, we'll go ahead and take this guy off the chart. Start chain on this whole move. It's the median. I'm looking for the relevance of the median line currently. I think that's the best so far. So of the whole price move, we pivoted right on the 50% mark of the median. And this isn't meant to be drawn exactly perpendicular. It's meant to be drawn to touch this price, the bottom. So we start to see reasons for the reaction there. All right, I promise I'm getting to a trade here, boys, but I'm just trying to build up relevant pieces to the chart. You'll rarely see me using modifiers on pitchforks. Just because the trading principles that Alan Andrews put forth and a couple other ones that I use, they're not built around modifiers, so I have no reason to use modifiers in that regard. And they introduce a level of subjectivity that, you know, if I want to be subjective like that, I can just throw away the pitchfork and use something else. I use them sometimes, but let's just say very rarely. I'll check them often, but don't often use them. Let's put it that way. We got a nice median here, important. So this outside level. I wonder if anybody sees where I'm going with this just yet. So I'm liking that. Let's go ahead and throw this on. And the VPVR is where I'll throw new support and resistance levels based on high and low volume nodes. Super low volume node that we are kind of right in now. So we'll change this color. Actually, let's change it to, we'll just change it to green. Clearly, this is the POC, no need to draw there. So that's all. See, and oftentimes these just happen to line up because that's the way it works out with, you know, significant when you're drawing based on pivots on the chart and you put it on the volume profile. You know, typically they'll coincide, and then maybe you just move ever so slightly based on the volume profile. And according to this is when we get out of our value area. So we'll just throw that on there. Now, get this shit off my chart. All right, now let's zoom. Okay, so first we'll move algo. We'll check algos off the height. This isn't the high, but trust me, I'm a professional. So that broke there. So we weren't. I'm just going to find one. Not really talk about it too much that's on the market. And and walk the series. There you are. There you are. Entry, target 3, entry, target 2, reversal, miss median line, ever so slightly. And I can show you, but we flipped him here. So he's flipped at that point. So let's draw that one more time. Flipped here. So draw that to there. That guy wants in there. However, I'll use fibs. Really? You using algos? What are you using? What's that mean? Okay, so that one broke. Discount that guy. There we go. Miss. That's interesting. Expansion. Yeah. There's money there, but how much? Hard to say. This GP comes right back down to this level, which is nice. Okay, so that's where our algo. Let's see. Is there a more dominant algo? I don't think so. This level, the significance of this area is getting more important in my view. Although this level is important. All right, now let's get down to more of a trade look. If you ever see yellow lines on my chart, it's for divergence. I'm diverging across multiple oscillators. Damn you, Trading View. So, here's the long developing. Did we draw this one yet? Yeah, that's this one. Okay, good. So here's my long idea for the long developing. Basically, well, that's a scary wave too. Yeah, it is kind of scary, but so far we're respecting this base channel. At a 1-to-1 ish, 1-to-1 ish. But if we look closer, We do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swing move. Not an impulse in play, right? Not a diagonal in play. Okay. Maybe we should pivot. Pivot ideas here. A, B. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this divergence line. I'm starting to think one more leg, but you know, you always think one more leg. A, B, C, and then D will come down here, so you'll draw it like from the B to the D. Yeah, this takes that out. Yep, that does. You're right. Is that a violation of an Elliott rule and guideline? You tell me. You're the master. Maybe it's working out, something like that. Maybe we're gonna do something like this. Let's see. It wouldn't be a 4, so you don't use the PTT for that. You would expect the 1-to-1, but to be quite honest, I would not expect the 1-to-1. 618 extension right to this level. That's super important. Man, this line, you know, the bottom might be in for this potential trade, but this level is super significant. This breaks the whole thing. You know, this level breaks. You know, I'd want to potentially make a pivot play at that level. And these are the things that I talk about. You know, in the last video, I talked about some trades, and I look at a lot of things, and I was giving you the 30,000 foot view. Well, this is the free view of the deep down close, sort of how you meter out trades at the trading degree based on relative degree of trend. So I think it's an important video, and I like doing it, but I have a feeling it won't be received very well. So you might not see this again, but we'll see. I wanted to try. I wanted to experiment with that. But I'm thinking that we break out of this before reversal. But like my man Mel Gibson says, aim small, miss small. I probably want to be in already at this level, and I will reveal to you that I am. I'm in. I will certainly add to here, and after this, I'm gonna punt. By the time this gets posted up tomorrow morning, we might still be in this triangle. But let me tell you, if this triangle gets, you know, if you see this and this is still going sideways to here, you know, the bigger this gets, the bigger the next potential move becomes. If that comes, whether, you know, maybe it's that, but just keep that in mind. So I wouldn't want to see, for this idea, I would not want to see this get all the way out, you know, out here, you know. So what's today? The 12th. So if we go to the 13th at 9:30 a.m., if it's still sideways by the time you see this, we're right on the edge of where I would say, like, it needs to break down before I would, you know, want to really bank on this idea. But this seems like a super confluent area here. Doesn't mean it has to get there. So many people think that just because they find a strong area of confluence, that price is seeking that area of confluence. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. If price finds that area, it will react, right, to an area of confluence, right? And depending on, you know, where we are in like the Elliott count, the reaction and what to expect after it can be different. But just because I have found a confluent area does not mean that I have any relative expectation necessarily what happens after it. And I certainly don't have any relative expectation that price has to meet that level. That's also a big mistake I think people make. And to be honest with you, you know, if you just traded this to here, depending on how you size, like, this could be a very nice, safe little trade, right? Back to the high. But of course, you know, there's got this level, and if the bottom's in, you got a lot more levels, right? So I'm not going to tell you how to trade your chart, but, you know, this could put you in the driver's seat, depending on the degree that you are looking to achieve for your trade. And again, that doesn't give us any more clarity out here at this degree as to what the Elliott wave count is, right? the 2 counts that I showed you still in play, but you know, I'm leaning against them a little bit, right? And if this does continue on next week, I'm sure I'll have another Elliott Wave count for you. I could give you one now, right? But I don't. Again, I don't just put an Elliott Wave count on the chart to put it on there, especially not to share to you guys. Like, I'm not going to show it to you unless it has a relative degree of probability associated with it. I'm not just going to show you some bullshit. Here we are with the beeping again. So you know what? I think that's my play me off music, and sorry about that music during this. And yeah, I don't know. This is more lesson time, so this is kind of in the vein of closer to what you get in educational videos. Not quite there, but yeah. So if you like it, I doubt you will, make sure you let me know, because I just want to see how this does relative to the other videos I've been putting up lately. It's a little longer. It's a little more in depth. So yeah, let me know. All right. Toot out.